Have you ever worked with someone who you didn't like at all? Someone who you really couldn't look into the eye? Yeah, you have. Trust me, you are not alone. It was the first day of school. Bright, loud, chaotic, the usual. Students were screaming. Teachers were juggling their sheets and those welcome bookmarks they give us, everything under control. But then, by some stroke of bad luck, it happened. I saw my teacher, who looked up at me, and she smiled in a very devious and villainy manner, saying, "Prepare for the worst." And she said those haunting words, "Hrithik, you'll be working with Steve for the term project." Term project. Steve. My heart, gone. My face, smiling as if my exams got cancelled due to rain, which will never happen, by the way. Why? Because Steve and I were exactly not on the same page. Forget page, we're not even in the same library. See, Steve is what I call a machine. Color-coded notes, highlight every line kind of person who's a neat freak. The man's probably color-coding in his dreams as we speak of him. And his nightmares? What, his green highlighter running out of ink. And me? I scribble ideas on tissues. I often write reminders on my forehead so there's no chance in me forgetting when I look at the mirror. But still I keep forgetting. Well, I once pretended that my Wi-Fi was afraid to connect while calling with Steve. And when Steve says, "Let's meet at 4 p.m. sharp," I will say, "It's 3:59. We've got 60 seconds. That's plenty of time, and you've got to calm down." Yeah, that's me. I had to collaborate with a person who I despised. A person who speaks in the programming language Python. Just goes over your head, doesn't it? So how exactly did I come across this challenge? What did I do? See, when we don't like someone, we experience something called the fundamental attribution bias. In simple terms, their existence is an insult to you. Let me show you. Steve does work on time. Oh no, he's trying to take all the credit, overpower me, and take the spotlight. Now this very bias that you just saw, it messes up everything. And it's not just psychological, it's measurable too. There was a 2017 study in organizational behavior and human decision processes. It was found that personal conflict reduces team productivity by up to 45%. You heard me. That's almost half of the project gone. Just like my skills, hope, and peace in a surprise math test. But there is a beam of hope. Collaboration with your opposites is actually genius. Professor Charlin Nemeth found that disagreement improves in decision making, but only if it stays focused on the task. So having argumentative ideas, excellent. Arguing about who has way more followers in Instagram, maybe, but it's less helpful. And you know who mastered this? Abraham Lincoln. He built an entire cabinet filled with his rivals and enemies. But why? Because Lincoln understood that progress doesn't come from agreement. It comes from challenge, from friction. Doris Goodwin called it his team of rivals. And if Lincoln could handle the American Civil War with a bunch of his enemies, then I could manage a 10-minute term project with someone called Steve, couldn't I? Okay, let's go back to our dearest friend Steve. Here's what happened. Steve tried to work, and bless his overly organized soul, I simply ignored him. As you can very clearly see, I made paper planes out of the documents which he gave me. It was really fun. But this so-called annoying concept of deadlines, it approached out of nowhere. Like nowhere, suddenly, just like that one subject teacher that comes to you and says, "I'm taking your PE lesson." Just like that. And Steve, that poor soul, he begged me to do something. Yeah, he begged me. So for the first time in life, I listened. I worked under pressure like a responsible human being. It felt really weird. I was having an identity crisis. Who am I even kidding? Work with Steve? Yeah, right, it's going to snow in Muscat. It was like that. But we both eventually found a rhythm. He organized the research, I gave it a voice. He brought structure, and I brought creativity. We went from awkward rivals to functioning teammates. Exactly, the opposite duo. Steve and I, the guy with sticky notes and the guy with ink on his forehead. Our project wasn't just good, it was the best. So, the next time you collaborate with such Steves, don't run away, please. Don't pretend that your Wi-Fi has commitment issues. Collaborate. You might just create something extraordinary. Sometimes the best outcomes are made from the worst combinations. And if you ever feel like you just can't, remember, if I survived a term project with a guy named Steve, you can survive literally anything. Anything, including those bad parent-teacher meetings. Thank you.